Remember when I said this whole censorship saga was gonna get so much worse? Well, here we are, and guess what? It ain't over yet. It's still got so much room to get so much worse. PayPal bans Steam. Valve responds. Let's get into it. What?
You got more of the banks trying to do bank things.
Yep.
If you've tried to buy a game on Steam recently, you might have seen this message.
Get
Valve has
fucked.
announced the removal of PayPal as a payment option in
Good.
many countries.
Wow.
This is not a
Good.
bug or a mistake. It's part
Remove them all. Fuck them.
of a bigger problem. The biggest question is, why is this only happening in
Yeah, start using third-party payment processors everywhere, all over the internet.
certain countries? Now, you might
It's probably
remember 1
regulation.
month
Which we're not there yet.
ago when we first talked about the collective shout, Steam adding a new rule, and the mass removal of games, that it seemed like PayPal
Oh yeah, and by the way, all the people that are crying like, "Oh, you're reacting to a reaction? What is this slop? The slop goes too deep, blah, dislike." Go fuck yourself.
was involved.
Wow.
This is because right at that same time,
happened?
it seemingly stopped working. It was unknown
What
if
the
this was
fuck?
some bug, a coincidence, or actually related to the situation.
Yeah,
now, when you try to use PayPal in an unavailable country, you get this official statement from Valve. Steam stated in early July 2025, PayPal notified Valve that the requiring bank for payment transactions in certain currencies was immediately terminating the process of any transactions related to Steam. This is important because
Oh, what's the bank? What's the bank that did that? Uh-oh.
an acquiring bank is the bank that handles payments
Yep.
on a company's side. Think of it as the bank that collects the money for Steam. They go on to say this affects currencies other than Euro, Canadian dollar, British pound, Japanese yen, Australian dollar, and the United States dollar.
Yeah, so
Which, like, you know, I don't really care about them because I'm an American. All I care about is America. But this is an American company, by the way, that's doing this. You know, PayPal, American company. Visa, MasterCard, they're American companies. Kinda. Not anymore, really. They're international companies now. They have left the United States borders, and they kind of are just an umbrella over everything. And people are finally waking up to it. I've been saying it for so long. Ever since Patreon started banning people for wrongthink, I was like, hey, man, this is going to extend past Patreon and places like Patreon. It's going to get straight up to Visa and MasterCard, and here we are, and it's only going to get worse.
they're trying to exercise this soft power that they have in countries that aren't well regulated in order to try to put pressure on Steam to do what they want.
They're going to get tired of it. They're going to get tired of it, and they're going to switch to Bitcoin. I'm already calling it.
That's what it seems like is happening.
Means that for every other currency in the world, PayPal is no longer a payment option to buy Steam games. They continue by saying, we hope to offer PayPal as
I hope countries pull away from Visa and MasterCard. Honestly, they've gotten too big. I think everybody needs to just start making their own payment processors. I think we've entered the time where garbage companies that push too hard, that go too far, are going to get competed out. I don't know. Whichever one works the best.
an option for these currencies in the future, but the timeline is uncertain. We're
Yep.
also evaluating adding additional payment methods on Steam for the customers affected
That's
by
what they
this.
need to do.
In the meantime, please use one of our other current payment methods during checkout. If you can't use any of the available options, you can consider using a Steam wallet code to add funds to your account.
There you
this
go.
confirms that
Steam wallet code. Yep. You can just purchase them straight up, and you just have the funds on Steam. I think that's probably where we should go with this. Go back to like Microsoft points and things like that, to where you can only buy things with that currency. There's no credit card involved directly. Eventually, they did involve where you could enter a credit card, debit card directly. But at first, it wasn't like that.
they were actively trying to fix a problem that
Or maybe at first it was, and then they changed it. I don't know. There was a time where you could only buy stuff with Microsoft points.
they did not create. But this statement also leaves us with a massive question. If the problem is with Steam's content, why would the bank only care about certain
Unless I'm wrong. I could be wrong. I am an idiot.
currencies? Why is PayPal still working?
It's because they can only control those currencies. That's why they're not controlling the larger international currencies like CAD, USD, and euros. But they can exercise this in smaller countries that don't have the same level of legislation. That's why.
perfectly fine in big markets like the US and the EU. One person on Reddit
Yeah, and really all they got to do is affect companies that are also in those countries, and they will make policies that affects every country, and it's all because what Visa did in one country or PayPal did in one country. Like it's all very complex, but that's how it works. It doesn't really have to work like, oh, you can't do these things in the US. Yeah, but what if you affect the US companies in other countries, and then it affects those companies in the US? It's pretty easy to figure out how that could work.
decided to call PayPal's customer service in Poland to get an answer. The lady insisted I contact Steam because
Yeah.
they were the ones who pulled the plug because Steam prefers customers to use their balance.
I think we're getting closer and closer to using some kind of digital currency, like cryptocurrencies, like Bitcoin. I think we're getting closer and closer to that.
When the user read the official Steam message to the rep, she became irritated and hung up. Does this sound familiar? Because it should. This is the same thing we saw with MasterCard and Visa.
These people need to get audited. That's what they need to do. The government's got to come in and audit them and figure out like who's doing this. Big time. Yeah, just go through Discovery, subpoena all the data, all of the different call logs, all of the different transactions, communication.
You want to know what my bet is? I bet it's connected somehow to Australia. I'll be waiting for that. I guarantee you, man. I'm betting on it. Because there's been a lot of weird stuff like this coming out of Australia. Lot of weird stuff. Collective shout, Australia.
And just figure this out. It would take like 5 seconds to figure this out.
Those companies put pressure on Steam, they then publicly denied it. So
Yeah, they
Valve
did.
had to be the one to tell the public the truth.
There's something weird happening with Australia lately, man. I think the world superpowers are like turning it into their meeting place or something. I don't know. They're gonna change Australia into like an experiment. The next human experiment. The next countrywide human experiment. United States used to be that. Can't really do that anymore. It's kind of gotten out of control. They need a place that they're able to control, like Australia. Australians love to be controlled.
It's clear that PayPal is now doing the same thing, blaming Steam to avoid talking about their own actions. When you put
What a
all the
surprise.
facts together, it shows a clear connection. This is a bigger plan to control what people can and can't buy online. For
That's
this
right.
Somebody says the World Economic Forum at it again. Yep.
Right? Yeah, the banks are trying to create a monopoly on currency and a monopoly on trade in order to force certain viewpoints and ideologies into the mainstream
Yep.
that the public
Yep.
isn't accepting.
Also, not just the banks. The banks are definitely doing that, but it's so many other entities, government entities, financial entities that are it's like demonic, man. It straight up feels demonic. Even if you're not a religious nutjob like myself, you gotta admit, it seems very demonic.
And I think this goes beyond viewpoints and ideologies. It goes into culture. It goes into values, and it goes into everything. That's what they're doing. They're doing that intentionally, and they're trying to push it. They've been doing this for a long time. And you should don't let them do it. No, there's no reason to let them do it. I mean, you should have laws that regulate this and prevent it from
True.
happening. And yeah, it's insane. Money's a great start to control. Yeah, if you can control the money, you can do that. How did all these ideal pushing fascists get into power? Because who do you think goes after power? People with ideals that want to push it.
situation,
It's the
it
power
all began
paradox.
with an activist group asking payment companies to stop handling
Should have never
payments
done it.
for games with
Dude, power seekers. The power seekers, man. Anybody seeking power is evil. I think the only way power can be not evil is if it's kind of like decided, like, this guy has to be the leader. It's not that this guy wanted to be the leader. It's just we have all decided that he is the best of us all, and he is the leader. I think that is the only time that somebody who gets into power can be not evil. And it's still then that's rare.
Sexually explicit content. MasterCard and Visa were some of the first to act, which led to Steam's new rule. MasterCard denied doing this, but Valve's statement proved they were the ones responsible.
Yeah.
At that exact same time, the game store itch.io had its payment services.
Well, and it's
with...
also like I immediately believe Valve because they've done this with other people too. They've debanked multiple other groups of people. They've debanked organizations.
Yep.
This is very common that they do this, and they've even I think a Japanese person at Visa even said that they did it to protect their brand.
Yeah, I made a video a little while ago about how Visa was trying to change the culture of Japan and like make characters look older, make them look less young, you know, and like trying to censor a bunch of sexual stuff that's part of Japanese culture also. And it's just like, bro, what the fuck are you people doing? Let Japanese people be Japanese people.
So, I mean, they've said they did this. They've done it in the past. I mean, this is a pattern of behavior at this point.
Stripe removed. Stripe's statement was clear, saying it couldn't support this kind of content because of its banking partners. This proves that these banks and payment companies are indeed the ones stopping the payments.
And again, like if you were the government, like and you could control this, you could figure this out instantly, right? Like you say, who isn't? Okay, well then they're the ones that are the problem.
Now we have the exact same thing happening with PayPal. A bank on PayPal's side has ended its agreement with Steam. The fact that all these events happened at the same time makes it impossible to think that this is just some wild coincidence. Now, you might be wondering, why was PayPal only removed for some countries? They start by making changes in smaller markets with fewer legal protections. This allows them to test their power and put pressure on companies without risking their biggest markets like the US and the EU. This strategy is meant to...
But it also affects US companies that are in these countries that they're affecting. Like, say... For example, in Europe, Apple was forced to start using USB-C for their chargers. So instead of just having USB-C chargers in Europe, they just made all their phones USB-C. That's what I'm talking about.
Force companies like Valve to agree to their demands everywhere without a major fight. The good news is that Valve is not giving up. Their statement that they're actively looking for new payment methods for affected customers is a big sign that they are fighting for gamers and will not be pushed around by these companies, although they sort of have to right now.
Well, so they're gonna have to. They're gonna have to work with them to an extent, right? I mean, like
parallel economy. That's all I'm saying.
It's an extent, but I think that these companies were doing it on purpose, and I think that again. There needs to be a investigation, like...
Yeah, and they don't play games. So what the fuck are they doing trying to affect the gaming industry?
An antitrust
it's not a gaming company
about this that puts all of these communications into discovery for the courts. I think that's what needs to happen. That's what hasn't happened yet, and it's a huge problem that it hasn't. If it does, I would be so happy, because that's really where we're waiting.
PayPal ban is not a...
Yeah, basically, it's like... Imagine you go into a grocery store and they tell you you can't go in because some of the things you said on Twitter. That's fucked up. Like, that's basically what's happened here. Like, oops, sorry, you can't come in because you were kicked off of PayPal. How are you going to pay?
But whether it's the banks, card networks, payment processors, they all try to deny any of this is happening.
What a surprise.
But there is a clear history, not just with Steam, but for all kinds of reasons. It's getting so big that we have the Japanese government and even Donald Trump stepping in to stop this from happening.
To be fair, he didn't actually step in for video games. He stepped in, I think, for guns, and it just so happened to also, by some miracle, affect video games.
By signing a new executive order...
Elon needs to buy back PayPal? No, you don't understand. Like, it...
But before he gets into whatever he's getting into, also, it's just an executive order. It needs to be written into law.
It's great to have somebody like Elon Musk that's doing this in a way that is beneficial, that you and I agree with. But ultimately, a good billionaire in charge of a situation is still a problematic situation, period. It's not like it automatically makes the situation good. It just makes it palatable in the meantime. Like, nobody lives forever. I mean, I don't know, at least so far. And so
That
the
we know
problem
of.
is that you can't rely on good actors. If you could just rely on good actors, we wouldn't need any laws. You need to have rules.
Fair banking for all Americans.
enforce
We
those
even got a
rules.
statement from the chairman of the FDIC
Ooh.
mentioning how they are going to be adding a new rule so these
Ooh.
financial companies have to stop using
Wow.
reputational risk as a reason to deny business. So
Easy.
now we have massive
See how fucking easy that is?
Yep.
All you do is you make it a law. Problem solved.
Yep.
card trying
Done.
to remove
Just a couple of sentences too. Oh, you're doing this thing? Well, you can't do that anymore.
service on Steam through their acquiring banks, PayPal removing service on Steam for a bunch of countries because of their acquiring banks, and Stripe removing service on Itch because of their banking partners. So this is clearly a massive problem that needs to be fixed.
Yeah, it
In
is.
6 months though, the government will officially have a strategy on stopping this from happening, which could include new laws and regulations, but obviously this might not help everyone around the world, like what we are seeing with PayPal removing service in select countries. The best
Yep.
part about this
Yeah,
new
that's crazy.
statement though is that Valve officially confirms that they are working on new payment methods, especially for
It's just like, do they not think that we can see what they do in other countries? Because they said they're not actually doing any of this, and then they're still doing it, just not in America. Is that what they meant? They're not doing anything just in America? All around the world, that's a different story. I don't know. We couldn't tell you.
the affected countries. We have joked about the idea of Valve Pay, but Valve joining the
That ain't
payment
gonna
space
happen.
to avoid
That'd be
these
cool.
problems really doesn't seem like a stretch anymore. Around 20
I mean, I think that a lot of people want to have a payment processor that's a payment processor, not a sensor, not a method of control, just a processor that processes payments. It's literally that simple.
12 to 2013, Valve
No-
became
For any
Nobody's-
reason, even illegal reasons.
that
this-
Microsoft's new Windows 8 and its App Store model
Ooh.
could threaten Steam's dominance
Windows
in
8, not a good time.
PC gaming. This worry directly led
Uma Musume is number 1? Oh my god.
Never even heard of it. Is that a gotcha
Holy
game?
shit, can you believe that?
Yeah.
gaming. This worry
Wow.
directly led Valve to create its own operating
That's a lot.
system, SteamOS, to reduce its reliance
I still
on
haven't tried the Steam operating system.
Windows.
expect
Which
that.
anyone who knows about SteamOS now, it outperforms Windows on gaming benchmarks. With this being
Woo!
such a big issue that
Yeah.
clearly
To be fair, though, so does just regular old Linux Mint. That's what I use.
shows how these companies like Steam heavily rely on these payment companies, and Gabe Newell loving to be a
There
game
he is.
changer from his deep sea marine research to his neuroscience brain implant company. I wouldn't put it past them to try to make a solution. We also can't forget Elon Musk, who is aware of the Steam censorship
Yeah, he knows
and
about it.
has mentioned he is working on XPay.
Oh yeah, that's definitely gonna happen. He's already talked so much about making X the everything app, and that's definitely gonna be a thing. I will definitely use XPay. I will. 100%, 1000%. I'll give up everything for XPay unless there's something else that's at least almost as good. Because I know XPay is gonna be killer.
So this is a problem that we are dealing with right now, but hopefully
Yeah,
it will
it's like having Elon Musk do it would be great, right? But
Yeah.
at the end of the day, that's still one
Game
person,
changer.
right? You've got to have more to it than just that.
Uh-huh.
I mean, it kind of goes without saying, but yeah.
Yeah, gotta have those laws in place. Also, can't just have one competitor pop up. And it's definitely gonna end up being number one. Maybe number two, but I think XPay would be number one immediately. Very, very quickly. So many people would switch to it. You'll probably see a lot of problems at first. People getting hacked, that kind of thing. But we gotta see other competitors pop up. Like Valve Pay and XPay at the same time, that'd be fucking amazing.
It's literally just that simple. But for some people, they don't really get it.
Honestly, I'd go to Valve Pay over XPay.
be fixed soon. Do you think we can see Rule 15 removed from Steam by next year?
Yo, what's up, guys?
I
We
don't
are
know
in
about
Dallas,
in a
Texas
year.
today.
Yeah, I mean, there it is, and Elon will stop them. I mean, I think that really the problem is not exactly Elon. It's not like
If you've tried to buy a game on Steam,
you can solve a symptom by replacing it with a better symptom, but at the end of the day, you still have the same problem.
Yep.
You really see that? Like, you get the point, right? Is like, just because
Stop killing games. Stop killing games. Not that fucking hard, man.
you have a positive disease,
Also, don't censor future games. Are you fucking serious? Get the fuck out of here.
it's still a disease. You don't want to have any diseases. Like, you don't want to have this weapon be usable by anyone. That's the issue.
My issue is, say, I'm just using this as an example. This is not happening. But say, okay, we got Steam, American company. We've got Ukraine, a country that is not America. You get a Ukrainian studio, they make a game, right? And then Steam, an American company, is like, actually, we will not host your game unless you do this, 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 and this. They make these changes to your game. And then we can host you on your platform. I don't want that. I don't want that. I want developers to just not be thinking about what they can and can't put in their games because they might get in trouble or they might not be able to sell it. I don't want that shit. Get out of here with that nonsense.
Is that you can't have this weapon exist, period. Now, obviously, the next best thing is to have it be used by somebody that we agree with or we're aligned with, right? Which I think Elon on these issues, I am pretty much completely aligned with him on these issues. I think most people are. And yeah, wasn't Elon the early founder of PayPal? I think he was. Yeah, he was. And so, like, but what he did with PayPal in like 1999 isn't today, right? I don't believe Elon at all, to be honest. Why? I mean,
Didn't PayPal pretty much start as like an eBay payment platform?
Elon clearly followed through with what he promised with Twitter. He did. He unbanned Alex Jones. He unbanned Nick Fuentes. He unbanned Donald Trump. He basically enforced freedom of speech. He did it. He delivered.
I like X. I'm glad it exists. I'm not on there anymore, but I'm glad it exists. I go to it sometimes. I just don't post.
Like, he said he was going to do the thing. He did the thing. That's it. And so, yeah, I would fucking believe him. So, and also, like, by the way, like, why wouldn't he want to do that? Like, it's another method of him having more control over economies and having another vector of business that he can operate under and function under.
I just had a thought. I just had a crazy thought. You get XPay, and what if all of the gaming platforms are being censored? And Elon Musk is like, hey, what if he wouldn't be able to call it X Games? Okay, I don't know what he'd call it. You can't call it X Games because that's already a thing. Maybe like the X gaming platform, something like that. X gaming platform, probably. XGP, compete with Steam and other ones, Microsoft Store. What else is there? GOG, kinda. They're not really a competitor. They're more like an alternative. Epic, they're kind of a competitor a little bit. Well, they're supposed to be.
It's common sense that he would want to do this himself. Of course he would want to do this. Yeah, it's more vertical integration for all of his businesses. It's more money, more control, more in-house decision-making. You're removing another outside actor. It aligns with his decision-making completely. So yeah, it's really just that simple. And Elon isn't enforcing freedom of speech because he's still censoring things he personally.
What if Elon Musk buys Steam? No, that ain't gonna happen. That'd be fucking crazy, though. Or if Lord Gavin is just like, all right, the successor to my company when I die is gonna be Elon Musk. Here you go. There you go, world. Dude, that'd be so epic.
Somebody doesn't like. Well, before we move on, I'd like to let me give the video a like. I mean, Waters made a lot of really good videos about this topic, and I agree with him. Can you give me?
I love Water CS2.
An example of that?
I wish I would have realized that he made that video, and I would have totally just reacted to his video without Asmongold. But I downloaded the Asmongold one, so There you go. I don't have internet, so whatever I get is what I get.
Can you give me an example of Elon banning people because he doesn't like them? Because I hear this all the time. I hear people say this, but I never hear any examples. And I think that's very weird. He deleted people's posts about him with Ghislaine Maxwell. How do you know that he deleted them? Like, I mean, so a post got deleted. And so let me get this straight. So there was a post on Twitter, and it's not on Twitter now. And you've instantly come to the conclusion that it was Elon that deleted it himself. It's violating TOS? Maybe it is. I don't know if it violated TOS or not. You remove your check mark? Yeah, but like, I mean, that's not removing somebody's freedom of speech. Like, it's just not. Like, I understand, like, that was dumb, but like, are we really gonna act like these are the same things? They're obviously not. Like, if I go and I post this, look, silencing critics, this is for 2 years ago. So some guy got suspended for something. Who knows what happened? I mean, look at all these photos. So clearly you're not getting banned, and you can clearly say this on Twitter. I mean, it's literally right there. I mean, it's obviously not. He got Streisand affected by it?
Dude, I don't know, man. There's just there's people, their brains are just cooked. I get people like that in the comments all the time.
It's like, obviously people are gonna post photos,
and it's just like, holy shit, bro. How could you be against me on some of these things that you're against me on?
Of him with her. Like, I don't think you need a Streisand effect to this. Like, come on, man. Like, you're really going that far with it? You're really going that far? Elon doesn't censor X? Yeah, I mean, again, so...
Yeah, the only censorship there is like illegal stuff. And I guess super hardcore porn.
So he tried to censor it, but then he couldn't. So the example that you have of him censoring is him not censoring. Good one. That's great. Yeah, thanks a lot. We really appreciate your input. Thank you so much. But yeah, I pretty much, like, I mean, this bullshit with the payment process is ridiculous. I'm very glad to see more people putting control on it. You got more that...
Yep, I'm very glad to see that things are actually kind of happening, but not enough is happening. So you know what that means? Everything's just gonna get much, much worse. Like, comment, subscribe, ring the bell for all notifications if you want to see everything get much worse, I guess. Well, I don't want to see that, but like, if you want to see me talk about how everything's getting much worse, there you go. I'll be here.